What's Henny? What's Henny? Akamwelewa. Alafu ni nakamwelewa. You know what? Let me get my headset. I remember none. And then after love, body nothing to do that. I think I'm too shiny, right? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Gamma another coalition diamond parce que man dama jaaxle waaru xam nga wala olof njaay nee na di jaaxle waaru man day jaaxle waaru parce que gamme ni man understand ma ak tamit nit yi soobee man ñooñ laa nit ñu understand dara ak tamit UDP ko fa yaa UDP ko métti ka faaleel ko eba no Essa Faal video phone ni Essa Faal lo linko coalition diamond interview UDP people na fale ko na lafta Essa Mbay fala alba kollal doron aliya BIP diala on the low ma fale ya kolri alba kollal degeni laha alba laha duma aliya ko alba fale ko ñu jëlal VP so ñëwé ci ñun VP dañ la jox vice president you know ak tamit we can work on ñu jox la so defé vice president if you do good then ñu jox la presidency next election yalla you do that negotiation mu ngey ñew fat bari ma ko li mo negotiation naka abita TV live from même for nah, I'm so irritated. I don't know. Let me see which one is this the latest interview 6 days ago? So I think it's this one. Oh, but this is a long interview. I don't have time for that one. I just need the short answer. You guys, can somebody send me the link? Can somebody send me I'll message. Somebody message me on TikTok. Your link ko kinya na Essa Faal ba ala recent coalition diamond. Like ala fenkena. Because I think Essa Faal na Timo. Obviously they want presidency. You know, obviously the Essa wants presidency like right now, right? And he wants presidency, like he really wants it. If vice presidency is offered to him, I 100% believe, and I believe he will accept it. Because I told it to him and he did. I told that idea to him and he didn't deny it. And I told him, do you know that if you accept VP from these people, next year being president is gonna be so much easier for you? He said, yes, I know that. Right? So, UDP, Allah for Baba Osen Darboe ko. I telephone ota. I deal so start coming because I don't know deals make all like. I don't know get deals direct. Abwa. And then for Ahmad Bani, I don't know your problem. I like that too. I love that. But Ali Essa call on the low. Alia offer deal la ma fa Allah call on the low. Baba Osen Darboe ya call. Oh, I find na diamond and I see meeting open. Meeting open I have go hey. Nso tela. I until I Essa Faal accept ko abinala UDP back as a party-led coalition, and in Falang, he will be VP. National TV Africa, yes, we don't support no party-led coalition. So bad people, you know I like you guys. Last election, I believe UDP was gonna win, but I supported you guys. So you guys cannot say I don't like you guys. If anything, I am united so bad. Okay? So now, lu dal Halifa Sallah ak Darboe, lo moy dal Essa Faal if he doesn't make a deal. The way that Halifa Sallah sat forever and he can't get no position, the way that because of no fair, we don't have fair elections. I know Jawara and them. I'm sure it's Sunya Roland. 30 years talk kesa man. I don't believe that. Okay, so Halifa Sallah make it ya Sunya la falang. I understand for Halifa Sallah to not back down. I understand that because Halifa Sallah can feel entitled. Like, I worked hard for this. Even before Darboe come, like, I have a right to be leadership. So it makes sense for Halifa to refuse to back Darboe and want to go into like a fair coalition type of thing. It makes sense for Halifa. It doesn't make sense for Essa Faal. It doesn't make sense for what do you call it, Mama Kande. And what UDP say all the time, the way coalition work, I did the research. I'm not here talking to you guys right now. I actually went and did research of how other nations do their coalition. And I also did research on how parties, I told pretty much ChatGPT to pull me like 5 countries that are not in Africa that did a coalition and how it worked. Okay? And I gave ChatGPT even the numbers. I said UDP right now they're pulling 30%, right? And the other parties are pulling 5%, right? And under. So in this situation, who would lead? It's UDP. But Gambian people don't want to be fair. So Essa Faal, I get it, he wants power. But if Essa Faal doesn't want what happened to Halifa Sallah and Darboe to happen to him, he needs to make a deal. If not, mom tamit, the fact that 20 years, 30 years, do not make a president, you go re. Lo mo ko def. And if a UDP na fale ko, ala deal make. O sen Darboe Essa ko la fa na yesi no so kon ay deal make. Ay offer VP la. Ay nene, politiko mo nene role til. Ay nene. Akay ko nana mbe back as a UDP led next mba VP dile la le. Right? Because Gambia, what's going on right now? Gambia malanyola. Like when I see what's going on in Gambian politics, it makes me even today I did a room on Clubhouse because if not Manjenta Clubhouse, I come from Clubhouse. We have a club called African Journal on Clubhouse, right? So we talk to other Africans. So I went there's a Sudanese room all the time. So I always go to the Sudanese room because I want to learn about what's going on in Sudan. So every time I go there, Dinka this tribe this, tribal politics. I'm like, what about B? I made a room on Clubhouse. I was like, and I was against this, right? I was like, do Africans need, just like the bowling conference, you know the bowling conference, Babo Sitale, when Africa program baby Kiri Nyamen, Babo Sitale, you mold divide, your tribal just in your corner. One hand be more of Coca Cola. To the point that I'm like, today I was like, yo, do African leaders need to sit down just like the bowling conference and share the content again based on tribes? But then I did that conversation, I'm talking to Africans, and I'm learning that we have over 3,000 tribes in Africa. So that will never happen. There will never be a country by tribe because there's over 3,000 tribes in Africa. So we're stuck with each other. But we're so backwarded that people all they care about is tribe. Anyways, so now, like I said, so bad people, man, I'm like, he look at me like I'm so bad, right? I told you guys, I am kind of so bad, but I'm united so bad. What na Essa Faal, man? I am united so bad. UDP ak so bad. After me, I think UDP and Sobeya coming together and being one is actually a good idea. Because what UDP lacks, Sobeya is going to be able to come and provide it. What Sobeya lacks, UDP is going to be able to come and provide it. But the government, instead of using their brain, instead of figuring out, let's collaborate. Let's for the sake of win, they will sit here, Karim Maninga global surwal batenne, Sarahul batenne, Nimbatenne. And if I am men discourage for the demanding. Ndata Baraji, I am maintaining MPP call. I don't sit on MPP platform. But Baraji, Kabina Abubakar Jawarama, what I'm maintaining, remember Sarahul like hello on TikTok. So the manual Ghanaian Sarahul, I became friends with them later on. Right? So anyway, so now, sorry, I think my nose, let me check on my, hold on. Okay, I'm good. Sorry, I gotta go. But anyway, so now, I was on Baraji's platform. Y'all and Gamin MPP call man like, they don't like me. And Gamin Jamal man like because Malbaya, I come Malbaya, it go, Mafanta, Malbaya the money. But anyway, so sign. Ndara Baraji la stage auto, commando laftan yaplaje. Anyway, so kedol na je, commando laftan yaplaje, so na basta the money. Anyways, so sign kedol na a certain stage kang. Aba I believe Sarahule Kang abola fakang, right? It seems like a little bit, yeah, I think it's Sarahule Kang. He on purpose kept talking. I know he's talking about me, but I don't care, you know. So I had a call for pare. Then after I went down, right? Then now after Kabim Bije Fante, Wally Jr. from UMC, right? He's speaking Sarahule about politics. So Wally was like, listen, why don't you speak in the language that base me understand no? Ako man language do but my language. I'm like, you know now, if that's the truth, you know? So I went down and then coming to after that, I get on my fake account because I'm beefing with them during this time. I'm beefing with them. I'm trying to see what y'all saying. I left, I'm trying to see if y'all gonna talk about me. This guy is speaking Mandinka. This guy started speaking Mandinka. Ako, ni lawyer Osen Darboe presidenti, ate abuluntung al bailal. After Mandinka content. And to me, that line is extremely dangerous as a Mandinka woman. Because you are putting my life at risk when you say that. Because what if everyone decides to come and unalive all Mandinkas because of ilo commento? So that is a very dangerous comment. So right away, I'm interested. I'm like, listen, I told Bubal Tifan. I'll not allow Tambul, but not allow Bambul sa Ach. Because I'm not going to take that for anyone. Because you're putting our life in danger. So he made that comment. So I went in my account again. I go, hey, I'm with my real account. I go, now mele, we are for. Because lawyer Osen Darboe mo presidenti, ata na presidenti abuluntong albayla. I'm like, well, I want you to say that again. Because what you said is very dangerous. If anything, like, it can more praise as moment tranga and stuff like that. That's what they praise Gamen people. Not Mandinkas, not Wolof, not Jola, not Sarahule, not Sarah, Gambians as a whole. So if you don't like UDP, you can attack UDP. But if you want to, we know when you say that you're saying Mandinkas. That's what you're saying, because that's the stereotype. So now you're putting our life at risk. You're putting our life at risk when you make that comment. So, Gambian on tell, it's our responsibility. Because things like that start civil wars. So, abo jika sifa kekang. Yeah, ayo diamu ta akaf of diamu me anka asamo put in a very bad situation. Right away, Allah start alke record. Allah start alke record na ninyo exposed ka tan di gamen na loko nin no sifa lempa, like because of politics they don't mind using dirty politics me anka asa fitino natin no na sate kono unnecessary fitino. Imagine, like, and this is the problem in Gambia that people have. Like, knowing a different language is a value. It brings value. I would love to know how to speak Sarahule. I believe I'm an entrepreneur. Knowing how to speak Sarahule is going to give me more opportunities when it comes to making money. Knowing how to speak Fulani is going to give me opportunities when it comes to making higher money. Knowing how to speak Arabic is going to give me opportunities in terms of when it comes to making money. Right? So, Gambia is so bad that it can molje. Ibajala mandinko Kate bala manika kon dambala fa ni surwa ba manika kon fa he feels some type of way. I can't respond like in surwa. If a surwa fa njela, he will do the same thing. Oh, ntaba surwa kon fa ni manika ko manika kon fa nye. I'm not gonna respond. What kind of stupid shit is that? Like now man la fra la language of fon fala. It's fine, right? I don't have a problem with it. Like ni surwa man la fa manika kon fonte. Ni na man ka kon fa surwa kon fa nye we respond because Gambia more ita wulu no la Gambia ye ke ba ya Gambia ko man ka kon o surwa kon me ka understand woman ka tonya woman so the Gambia ita wulu no la Gambia ye ke ba ya Gambia ko man ni ka kon o surwa kon hani ma me ka fa ku bari ka understand like at least 30 40 50% you can understand. So momo kana whether imu maninko imu surwalti imu jolalti or whatever ike to kana kafako manika ko ma understand even 50% ye boo or surwa ko ma understand 50% ye boo in that country. It's impossible. I don't know where y'all come from, but the Gambia I know ni ulu to wata ikeba to wata manika ko ni surwa ko ike hani mamwe iba understand that at some point. That's how horrible our country is. So now, in terms of coalition, right? Like I said, Essa Faal, UDP fanta ba tele blame consente. Na fale ko, Essa Faal ala la duma rek, ala fa ko hey mba VP di lela, da ko la si kona bi nga waxa mom, you gotta make a deal. Ali VP of fire, Ali fire, listen. Political role at the end of the day. So sign, Essa Faal wants leadership. He wants presidency, 100%. It's his right. If the opportunity is here, he will take it. It's his right. But I told him, listen, accepting VP will make you more likely to be president next thing. He said, I know that. So call him and offer him not. If not, he's gonna come because he would love to be president, right? He will still come and say, yeah, I don't coalition. I don't even know what he'd be saying. I even thought Essa Faal gotta stop saying that. You did so bad. I don't know what Essa Faal must have do. Essa Faal, you tell me. Well, they must have do them. We don't believe in coalition lead party. Okay, let's say that if Essa Faal doesn't believe in a coalition-led party, okay? Let's say that there's two things that could happen. Because Essa Faal thinks that it's possible that there could be a three coalition thing, whereby UDP on their own, Essa Faal with GDC, GDC plus maybe PDRS and Taliban sera wala kuru wala mo buwa kuru le to mala imam party fonds sera wo te include la. So Essa believed that it's still possible for him to win with that. He did tell me that. But to me, listen, we know these people MPP cheat. Okay? And the votes are gonna be when you have that strong coalition, yes, it's a UDP challenge no. But that just gives MPP a higher chance of winning. MPP, they are so confident. And I like confident. Well, confident, I can't come find no, but I kind of like it. Because they're so confident that they're arrogant and stupid right now. Because that's how much they're confident when it comes to stealing this election. These people are this, the way they're confident, like, it gives them a chance. But anyway, so let's sober people. Let's say if there's a three-way election. And UDP, they're like, we know they have, if there's you guys get close to them or you have their number or you're even able to beat them. Let's say if you're able to, right? Right? I don't know. For me, I think it's going to be, there might be a little bit slight ahead. That's what I think, right? I think there will be a little bit slight ahead of you guys. But that's a dangerous line for us. Because MPP, IEC is on MPP side. IEC, they are ready to cheat for MPP. So right away, they're just stealing. So also, Governor Falang, we have to ask ourselves, are we being fair to UDP? The only people that have a right to say that you're not being fair to me when it comes to outside of UDP is PDRS. Because they've been there. They fought. They struggle. They've been there when it comes to trying to fight for the Gambian people. They are the only group of individuals that have every right to say that we're not going to back UDP. We want leadership on our own. So Sobea, let's like what is the issue with not backing Darboe? Because if you guys don't do it right now, like I said, what happened to Halifa Saleh and what happened to Darboe can easily also happen to Essa Faal. Okay? So let's, in terms of coalition, how it works, anyone can go and do their research. Go and do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Go and do your own research. Pick 5 countries outside of Africa, or even including in Africa, where how do they do their coalitions? How do they do their coalitions? Who usually lead it? And give them percentage. Do research in terms of, like, if UDP have a 30% vote right now, according to research, but we know it's higher. But according to research, UDP have 30%. DOI usually have 5%. APP allegedly 3%, but whatever. I don't believe those numbers, but do the research. You will see that the party that has the highest number usually lead. Usually the leadership comes from that. So then what I hear from Sobea people sometimes is, we feel like UDP, they just want us to come and help them, and that's it, and they win, and like they don't want to do coalition fairly, right? So and if I'm UDP, right, we know that PDRS, they're not gonna back him in leadership. We know Sobea, they're not gonna back him in leadership. We know GDC, they're not gonna back them in leadership. If anything, it's possible they don't like them. It's possible. Right? So why should I go into coalition with them if they're gonna fight against me? Why? So it's the same situation when Sobea say, why should we help UDP? Why should we just go and help them? Right? UDP can also say that. Why should we come and give you our numbers? We know you don't like us, and then you're just gonna gang up on us and be one. They can also say that. And if I'm UDP, billah wala tala, I will not do it. I will do what UDP is doing right now. And let's talk about another thing too. UDP, have they not fought for Gambian people? So like I said, I like you guys. I love Essa Faal in terms of update. Essa Faal's son was even my classmate. I didn't even know that's his son. I grew up with his son. I even went to Essa Faal or before. I didn't even know that's Essa Faal's son. Okay? So, like, what is the issue? You know? So, in terms of UDP, right? They're not perfect. Their fan base, political chocho for like annoying sometimes. Back then, I was never interested in politics. You know, chocho because of UDP versus APRC, chocho, you know, yellow patil. I was never into kafol, you know, I was never into that. Right? But I believe the UDP as a party, they fought for us. Gambia, at least in my generation, I don't know nothing about Jawara's generation. At least in my generation, Yaya Jammeh, in the early 2000, I was a kid. But I didn't like Yaya Jammeh because I don't like bullies. I don't like people that are bullies. I don't like it. If you saw Jai Dolenity, man, do they like. So UDP, I believe they worked hard for us. They fought for us. They stand against a bully, not Hussein Darboe himself, the whole party as a whole. Yes, we can say that they're annoying, they talk too much. Some of them are extremely stupid sometimes. Man, I'm a man, how can you be president? Like, some of them, yes, there's some stupid people in there, that's for sure. Right? But during TRRC, from whereby Essa Faal is sitting and he's leading that coalition, I believe all of us felt bad for UDP people in that coalition. I believe all of us saw that they suffered under APRC. Whether we can agree that they suffered under APRC. Their members soul were unalive because of APRC. The Muslim were raped because of APRC. Because of for the love for the Gambia. Because of for the love of injustice. They don't want injustice, they fought. Shout out to PDRS. PDRS was there fighting too. Sobea, were you there, Sobea? I love you guys. I'm one of you guys. I'm one of Sobea. But Sobea, were we there fighting? No, we were not. So, and I made a statement before that saying that, yes, it looks like it's Essa Faal's time right now to lead. But the problem is, Gambia is still not where it was at. For example, if let's say if Barrow did a really good job, whereby we're all not complaining the way we are right now. He's leaving in his 2 term. We had a draft constitution. Like things are not messy like the way they are right now. Then I can see Issa. It makes sense for Issa to be president right now. It makes sense, right? If for example, if Darboe was the one in office or Khalifa before, and then the country is not the way it is right now, it makes sense. But the country is still a mess. So Ousseynou Darboe have every right to feel like I have to come and fix this. Khalifa Sallah have that right too. Khalifa Sallah have that right. But Essa Faal ak Mama Kandeh amuñ right boobu noonu nag dëgg. Like in terms of, they have the right as citizens to say we want presidency, but they don't have the right to feel entitled that these old people need to get out and we have to. They don't have that right, because when it was tough, it was yeah. You would say I'm lost because you're a hypocrite, and some governments are stupid. I'm problem with it. I'm like, because I'm a straight shooter. I tell you, you're just fucking stupid. If what I'm saying don't make sense to you, your brain it lacks stuff. You're dumb. It's not my fault. Anyways, so say. Anyways, Essa Faal will always come out and say what he's saying. But I think he's a little bit being unfair, because we all know how to do research. We all know how to go online and do research and see how coalition works. The way coalition works is UDP would be leading right now with Ousainou Darboe. Okay? If we're talking about numbers. But anyways, Khalifa Sallah is the only person that have a right to say that I'm not letting Darboe run. I'm not letting Darboe to lead me, and I have a right to be president myself. Khalifa is the only one that have that right. Issa don't have that right, because when it was tough, he didn't come out to fight for us. When it was tough, he came out to fight for us when it became easy. When the bully left. That's when he decided to start fighting, which is cool. I'm not tripping at all. But it would have been easier for him to be able to succeed with that if the country is in a better state right now than it is. It's not. So UDP, there's no in hell they're gonna, like, if I'm UDP, I'm not even gonna do it myself. Like, if I'm UDP, I'm not gonna do it myself. Because it's not even, so governments are being unfair to UDP, but they don't know. Because of some UDP members, but UDP members are not stupid. Stupidity, we all have our own stupidity, you know? Gambia, lack of education is our problem. Even me, I need to like educate myself way more, right? Lack of education is our problem in that continent. And the young fella menkante jahal. Hey, Gambia na Gambia no member Gambia na merol na Gambia musol. Tell gana sawarta political fella. But tell kela fasaro Kenya want to understand handam and dinnak. I'm talking about NPP fahunko. Eka gamenol jajanne ini ka diam. Right? Ya lonne munne mutonyati ko telle mutoja folali telle mo beto yet ina ini gale diam with arambra by first you guys don't police me with my language. I speak what I want to speak, okay? Nonsense. Government, like, it's so sad, like, the way the continent is. But if you guys want to come up now, Sinano, Pulo, shout out to you. I know you were in my thing. Is Pulo there? Oh, I think he left. Let me bring you. I don't know, bro. It's just... but like I said, UDP right now, I blame them. I kept telling them, Ali ning call Issa call ala laha. So I call it don't call laha si subrenga waha monga you do a deal, hanga. But UDP call more deal ke. It's okay Issa Faal le bulag right now. I now national TV I fem ko meanka aman dia gale. But he will continue doing it wo if you don't call him and make a deal wo. But Lamin, you can unmute yourself. How are you?
Yeah, Binda, good morning. How are you?
Sorry, go ahead.
Are you getting me? Are you getting me?
Yeah, I can get you now.
You talk about faxes. Although I'm busy, but you talk about faxes. They have to make a deal, and then not only deal, but they have to be stand to give Gambians transparency and security reform, and then new vision for the Gambian people life, and then protect our resources also. So really, they have to join to UDP when we are going, telling the facts and the truth, because we all know that they have more figures. So if you have more figures, if you are in, let's say, when your country is in crisis, everybody have to be joined, and then we make a one forum so that we can have our dream. And then we all know that Adam Barrow is our problem. So how can we kick Adam Barrow in that position? We have to see our country first and our difficulty we are facing as a country, and then division we are claiming to have it. So that is all. And then me also, I support your idea what you are saying. It's very is you are making sense, and then that is the truth. If you are seen in another country, the politics they are doing when they are in crisis, that's what they are did. They already look about the majority, and then they fall hands together, and then they try to bring new policy and then transparency, and then when we are joined to them, and then they also have a impact in terms of position. So that is it. But everybody cannot be a president. We all know that we have 1,000 people. They are needed to be a president, but it cannot be. So the only thing we can do is let's look our country first, and then we look our life, and we look our difficulty. How can we tackle those difficulties so that we can have a better? Because we all know that the person we believe and then the person we trust is a failure to us. So what we are going to do, that is join, and we try to build a new reform and a new vision. That is it. Yeah, you are right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lamin. Bambas, go ahead. How are you, Bambas?
Yeah, I'm good. Sister Binta, thank you so very much uh, for doing this wonderful job. Um, yeah, I just want to contribute and, your conversation, which is about the coalition talk, which
Yeah.
I think is very, very important. So, yeah, I just want to make one thing clear here, and that is from the side of the UDP when it comes to engaging other opposition parties or leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at the formation of the coalition 2016, the strategies or the way that the coalition 2016 came up was from the bottom to the top approach. That is how the coalition 2016 came up, uh, which literally means that the surrogate started the talk. Okay, it started with the surrogates. They had this conversation among themselves. Um, I could remember the likes of Karafa Sonko, the one that is in UMC right now. They are the ones that started this coalition talk with other folks in the how to call it, from the PDOIs and other political parties.
Mm-hmm.
Then it went gradually to the party leaders and to the executive, to the higher ranks, and eventually it succeeded. Now, it's the same approach that the UDP uh, started this year as well. You remember when Keba Sabali went to the Gambia, Sabali of Helsinki,
I'm just
Finland.
you can keep talking. I'm just pulling like
Yeah,
I'm pulling 5 countries that did coalition and what each party number is and who led it. And so far, the 2 countries I did South Africa and I did the second one I did is Germany. Germany. And so far, the party that had the most numbers led that coalition. I'm trying to prove to government people
Binta,
that this is how it works.
yeah.
Don't
But go ahead,
So,
Bambas. My bad.
that's
I'll
what
let
they did
Bambas
it.
finish.
Yeah.
'Cause I just wanted to
Lavi,
get
can
this
I
right.
continue, please?
Yeah, go ahead, Bambas.
Yeah, so it's the same approach that the UDP started this year as well. When Keba Sabali and the team were on the ground, reaching out to other opposition leaders, other opposition parties. And this team is actually from the UDP, sent by the UDP to approach these people. So UDP is actually making moves, to try and talk to these other opposition parties and leaders. Now it has got to a point now, where our party leader himself is actually engaging other party leaders, and this is happening right now as I am talking to you. So it's not that the UDP is not reaching out. It's just that it is difficult to talk to some Gambians. It is difficult to convince some Gambians that this is the normal thing to do, that a party with the bigger number should lead the coalition. And this is the problem. This is where the $1 million question lies on. That is why should UDP say that they will lead the coalition. And this is where we're having problem with most of these people.
And governments are being selfish, right? Because Isai saying, let's be fair and let's be fair, let's do it, let's go and equal votes, blah blah blah, right? And then governments want to lie and even say, oh, the last 20s election was because of Darboe wasn't around. Then think that was UDP got that because of, what do you call it? Because of Ahmad Ba. Ahmad Ba, his team gave all the UDP are gonna vote for themselves. Halifa Salah's team, I heard 5 votes. There's 5 people that didn't even vote for Halifa Salah from PDIS, right?
That's
that
right.
Didn't vote for him, right? They gave their vote for. They're claiming that they stole them or whatever. I don't know, right? 5 people didn't vote, and that 3 years situation. What I learned from speaking to people that are from PDIS that were actually there when it was happening. That 3 year, it was Halifa Salah's idea, and I believe the 3 was meant for him, because the guy said Halifa told OJ that if his leadership, because of his age, I guess the age situation, because of his age, he could only do 3 years or something like that. So that is why the 3 year come up. The 3 year didn't come up because it came up because Halifa was.
No, it was their idea. It was actually their idea. So if you look at the coalition 2016,
yes, but their interest, because they already know that our law says.
Yeah, so the coalition 2016 actually, if you look at the conditions, or if you look at the procedures, it was actually from them, because the stand that the UDP came with, UDP had to drop their stand and adopt, their own stand. Okay.
Okay.
So that is the reason why, if they are actually going around and claiming that the UDP always wanted their way or the highway, that is incorrect. Because the UDP actually adopted, your own stand, your condition in 2016. So you cannot say that the UDP always wanted their way. No. In fact, it is the other way around. So now, here's the thing. I think that if Gambians really want change, and that, we will see. If Gambians really want change, I think they will come with UDP and allow UDP to lead a coalition. But if they don't want change, I don't see this, but because here's the thing. Even the just recent polls actually shown us really what the coalition should, or how the coalition should be structured, and what actually should happen. I think the evidence is there for everybody to see. So if you look at the poll, you look at the questions when they asked, who are you going to vote for? Who do you intend to vote for? Right? You have 49% who said they will vote for oppositions, right? And you have 32 or 34% that said they will vote for Adama Barrow. But 49 said they will vote for the opposition. Now, in this 49%, 35% out of 49 said they will vote for UDP. So which means 49%, you subtract 35 from that 49, the rest is the total number of all these other opposition parties. So that simply tells you that Gambians, in fact, the Gambians that did not want Adama Barrow's government, that wants to vote against Adama Barrow, majority of them are behind the UDP. So now if you are telling me that UDP's candidate is not winnable or is not electable, that does not hold water.
Let me give them this information, right? Because like I said earlier when I was talking to you guys, I actually went and these couple of days, I actually did research in terms of how other countries do their coalition. right? And ChatGPT made it very clear that the ones with the highest votes usually lead, right? So now I don't want to just stop to that. I said, give me 5 examples of countries, 5 countries, example of that actually did a coalition and what the results were and how did the vote goes and each percentage. So it gave me 5 countries. I said 4 European countries and 1 African country. It gave me South Africa in 2024. They did the coalition. The party led the ANC. They had 40.18% of the vote. 40.18%. DA had 21 point something, right? And then in South Africa, the party that had the most numbers led 100%. In Germany, this happened in 2025, last year, right? The biggest party had their numbers are 33 point. Hold on, I'm still in South Africa. Okay, yeah. So the biggest party have 33.02, right? Sorry, I'm at the wrong section, you guys. My bad.
Binta, don't go even deeply about it.
No,
What
no,
you
no.
are saying is real.
So many people think, oh, does not have coalition.
No,
Or like
listen.
we gotta give it to
I
them. Like
hear
I don't know.
you. I hear you. You are talking about. I hear you are talking about something like which style of Gambian, like tribalism.
Okay,
But I
let
don't
me
see
just do
like
this,
a
Mala. Let me
tribalism.
let me
What
let me
is
let me
is
let me just let me just
lack
let me just do this.
understanding and hatred in our society. That's what I see here. Thank you. Without
Okay. All right. Let me just do this. Germany. The coalition one was between GDU and CSU, right? And coalition. The party that led it is GDU, right? They have 33% votes, and the other one have 28%, right? And they were able to win the election. So now it also gave me Ireland. Ireland, these ones are even close. The one that is 21.9%, the ones that had the majority, the other one have 20.8%. And guess who led it? The 21.9%. Then we're at New Zealand, right? And this is the New Zealand. The National Party, they had 38%. The ACT had 8.6%. And Z have 6%. This is closer to Gambian numbers. And guess who led it? The one with the highest numbers. The only one that the smaller party led is five. I pulled 5. Only one out of the 5, which is Sweden. And guess what the numbers are? The numbers are very close in percentage. It's not like this one is 30%, the number 5%. No. The one that led Sweden, what do you call it? There's the party is the Sweden Democratic Party, which is 20.5%. They're the big. The next one is the moderates, which are 19.1%. So they're just 1% behind it. UDP momentary 1% behind it. Alkat percent balek tarisato.
No, Binta, Sweden ta me ya lead wala fenke den debe Sweden. Sweden me ya lead. Iman jamfa nyono no mama jamfa bari moderator wala ya lead.
The moderator la lead, but when Sweden Democratic had more numbers, 20.5% is 1% different.
1% difference, yeah, but many 1% difference only ya lead moderator wala start minister.
That's what I was saying. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
out of 5 countries, because before I went deep into doing research into 5 countries, I generalized it dunya kakenyaming. Ako dunya kakenyaming, pati lenda ka lead usually coalition or kono. So sign okay, for gamino, let me go find 5 countries. Let me find countries from a coalition okay, let me find that information. So I find that information. Out of those 5, all 4, the ones that had the most led. Only one didn't lead, and that one, they were very close to the Iframu Party Balti. Amanke pati ba nim pati ndintire. If I'm pati balti, the other one is 20%, the other one is 19%. And then it says, so even though SD was nominally larger than M, the coalition partners agreed that Christensen moderates would penke. So that is not something that gets done all the time, once in a while. So one uncle, so be uncle. Boom, boom, kababa during, UDP fat. Sate man tari betiaring sainte nata sate former betiaring natari 2016 man kata nung amanke oh that was it or even Adam Bora did a good job to the boy that UDP call are happy with him, then we can Essa Faal can even feel like yes I'm ready, I'm competent, I'm very valuable, I can do a good job, then I'll be like that makes sense. But right now it doesn't make sense for him to do that. But anyways, I'll let somebody else talk.
Binta Isham.
Yes,
Sumanda Jalbaka.
No, Binta, if you come to that,
one by one.
no, if you come to that, I will be seeing that you are talking was a little bit. But let me tell, maybe I wouldn't have. No, listen, maybe I will lead it.
I mean, somebody was talking and you interrupting them. Like, let them finish their talk. Go ahead.
Mbalu kontra na bako, nkai memo be kontra na o. Yes, one Gambia la mumbe munganye kilomita, because mbe election sa ng bolo kono sa ente. Femfen ngalong femfen sa keno ko puro ni masakunda sa jin no ngame o menyanta kala mo bela hambe kodi. Yo, so album fokande something to come like majority carry the board. Yo, say what the Gambian fan level, but be kachale ka nat, so the Gambian dan la dron come ke one under one umbrella, so ya qualify no come for more basic ben no come to nyame bajako, so from the verify la ni ma ko la bakele, pour ka je ko sibero dino mola melon ko abe masakunda jindi na nyame. But ni man kamben drong so abel do ku balate no ni mo kala mo malde because the political men sama kan banko kan tebe gambe jande so gambe la political dun tenga tama ngake bakere because nte keta council for 5 years during Yaja Jammeh's time as an independent candidate yaji so other mu UDP like but malo patile namol ko ngolo independent so yan support for Ganyeta nga 5 years like in that position so gambe la political ngalo mbage muneka tamaje so ni mo be pare nyame na because yaji halbero mo fay follow ka vo contre winter already so the winter already what's the meaning of that bero mo fay ka vo contre winter already what's the meaning of that mune mo koma
sorry na brother me jini ngale sorry na brother me kuma ku
Hey, meet up. I can't understand.
I want to ask you something.
I asked you. No, please let him finish his point.
Okay.
Padmata is supposed to speak next. Then you can talk.
Okay.
If you want to talk.
Okay.
So ya family so nyin kalo katara platform kante embenyo sabala fo fenko do Gambia la politiko tamito la shinde so nyin mol fenko do man ndron nimbe silal again because al halo membe tamakan banko kan so ntel membe Gambia jantel ngalo nyi be men tamandi kam because Gambia population no nyin sa fo no mom man understand so do back wala siata musol kono la ajibe ntel you are jebe be politics va me use kanjang membership card parti berba di kamola bay triba ke kanyamen kajo ko ha president ko abe kodolo di kam abe kodolo di la molla so e bajala ko o membership card ni kadi musolla musodol kata base tiro ko suto ha ka wuli kata base kata of political bureau pour kata o membership kata o soto so be mu men kam kamol misli dro ha be madi la men nambe kodolo di la wolla so muso bebe hamere wala pour kajo ko pour ko membership council so nyim be mila sunya strategy let because Gambia population no nyim mom be aware ba ka man sia ba ke surtout mbar musol nim ba ma nyol amanke comme mblatera de bar comme la capacity thinking capacity ni so adandula bije wonyal so Gambia be fa wonya be difficult la back ni political party ni lo kanto keno kake kankilin dino kaje ko ya strong fen ko nati so be ko leke ni mobe absila agenda aduna sila to Gambia bidun mobe se ikundundula long so ntan ngolje keso so we can now
Now I don't bro MPP cannot sit bro. Anyways,
okay
I'm coming to
Lami
you.
nimbamba sieta fos.
okay, Nimbuleta, I'll John, you wanted to ask something? Go ahead.
Okay, abaraka baga binta. Comme membe je Gambia jewa la bije dro, comme fa jewa la bije bomba ya men fona. So le ntelafta men nyin kala nyimbulla first of all jenen diamu bo futalama because akati geta mala fo council for 5 years. So nyin atayalo no go Gambia la politiko abe nyamen. Lafta nyin kala munatinna because abe men fo ga ko nyin ko ibe evental already and they said in 2021 and the same time they are saying again they are already winning 2026 and this man maybe he can explain a little bit about deep inside, because
He already did. He explained the tricks they're using, especially in URR. He explained that. He talked about that. You didn't hear?
Okay. So
Yeah.
the issue is bit that so not recommend Diamo Bembulu for Fatma Laniantana. This
It's a diamond. No, then Lamin said diamond. Fatmata don't want to go down.
Just come and kala, Allah idea support, come and Gambia Yamin, find your way to be Kaja come and bank doing in Malafi Fangala because in Dunia kuna the Keno la come and baby, kuma killing in say kanji, and no Tonyam killing it more than for no UDP Lanyanta Bolaje, Ulanyatungo Yanta Bolajele, Nyatungo Doana. So we'll make a genuine coalition of Kaja come. No. Hasidia kumole. It is a woman yadi Jama more be more men no, it ko wala nyatongo woman competent. So akamunde be more bele nanika. It's not winnable munati na mo ati winnable wo mo jama be wati ko adu jamal ka mo winindi. Nena maji malaikol ka jika bo sama santo ka bero fay mo nena may ginnol ka bo sama santo ka bero fay mo hadama dille ka bero fay mo. So etinya be hadama di jamal mo noma. At the same time ika ko wo is winnable. Just come and Hatidia with Gambia and in New Jawia and in Fanjawia. This is the problem. Only issue there Hasidia ke Fanjawia because Gambia no bejele inyabala bi UDP party or the Mengalo Gabe Gambia Sambala dreamland. We they demonstrate it. But come and fan Hasido Mugalafi more, Hana the Fangal Silo, come a guy who nata Arjana Silo me nata Arjana. But now come and tell them drone as Habai. Hasido kama wonyal ikabulum dele kay arjana silo fele dinata barna ko majiba bintalo binta boy barngata jahannama boy they prefer to go to jahannama because of it. You show them the direction, the good direction, because UDP is demonstrating right now in Gambia kaita Gambia dingo ko ni UDP tata power we will go out of this mess. This is very clear mo bele nyabala but come Hasido ni kay ko arjana silo fele ka no. This is Gambia problem.
Yeah, I feel you.
This is Gambia problem. We rather go to hell or follow this man. Because this man be silo menka ibenya bala wole be Gambia bola. Batakono. Gambia foria membe ji amanke alale yakeje. Kole ya membe Gambia dimul ka manke alale yakeje. Alinga ala dabondi system wol kono frek. Molle ka molla kodo domo. Womanke ala problem oti sayin. Na fulo membe Gambia albetulo bala menka sunya nyim banko kanje mo betulo bala amanke kono demi ndi nyaadi min mo be nya bala membe kerim banko ka wonna fulo nyi natra mo ka sunya moldol katela konkole tetela la konkole binta. So womanke ala la problem. God has given you already everything. If somebody is taking your own, God never create nobody without providing your necessary living things. But if somebody hold that somewhere, because of that you suffer, so you don't say that is God. God don't say that. God don't do anything about you. Name batamu me be amanke ala koti. So we have to take that in our brain. Ko ala dosi ala banta hakilo di hadamadinna. Ay ni follow ni dafangul bonni nyoto. Ala haju tentelma kote ala ya dabo ni tella kota. So ning balu te jang kairo kono o mbole yusla na hakilo nga balu kairo kono dunia jang. Nim balu ti jang kole akono o manki ala la problem. So mandar kawandi la jang. But Gambia dingul fangal lomi fanga jawote. This is the problem binta. Because mbenya be tonya la UDP nin keba Hussein Darboe motelo la Gambia kono kala character nadi mengalon ko asa disgrace no comme ka disqualified no ka president since ya dunda politiko kono isi dunga la CV kono isi dunga la everything kono. You cannot bring anything there which make him that eligible. So mo problem moti. Mon fa jaw yalla mu yindi.
Yeah, they just being Gambians are just being selfish. Like that's what it is.
This
Gambians
is
are being
selfish,
selfish.
Linda. So this is very, very sad country, small country like Gambia. When we will think about to have train, when we Gambia will be sibola lu nyumal kombe tramo sutal kabor on the ground. We don't deserve that.
Like I said, I made a statement and say Gambians are being selfish. Like I said earlier, PDRS, they are the only party that have a right to say that we want leadership, that we need it because we fought hard too. They're the only one. Apart from that, all these other parties, they're being selfish. When it was tough, Mama Kande, he was there with APRC 5 years working with them. Ante I don't anyone who work with Yajime 2 years, 3 years, ante fay corrupt nag dega parce que day tough Yajime to ni mu tonya fola dina attaquer non. Ni man sila ni man ke mom sila tonya fola by force mba folele na attaquer non. So anyways, but we need their numbers, you know? Essa Faal, I like Essa Faal. I would love to see him be president one day.
Yes, Binda,
Yes.
before coming to Essa Faal, I want to clear something doubt. What is this your doubt? What is your doubt here? Because if you could remember, Asa was busy on working in another nation, and then we all know that maybe it's his will to join Gambian politics, but he doesn't have time. But we cannot take that one as a something that is coming too late in terms of politics. But what we are going to say it is here, as you say, Essa Faal is not have a too much of problem to join another politics. It depends on principle. It depends on transparency. It depends on how that how they call it, that coalition going to be work. It's only that. But our will is to see best
Mark,
Gambia.
you guys, let me
Yeah,
even say
yeah.
no.
No, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Maybe if you say that, some people will think that Essa Faal come lately in terms of Gambian politics and then he want to be a president. It's not that.
No, you don't. Let me make a point to understand it. The point is,
Yes.
listen,
Yeah.
Before Issa became a big lawyer, Hussein Darboe was the first big lawyer in the country. Hussein Darboe one
I
day,
know that.
let me finish, right? So what I'm saying is, Yajima was being oppressive. He banned all political parties that were in during Jawara's time, except except PDIS. Right? Those other parties, I believe three of them, they came together and they formed UDP. They couldn't be leadership because Yajime banned them. So who did they call? They were like, okay, let's contact. They tried everyone. They went to a lot of people. Everyone was scared of Jembe. No one wanted to stand against him. Right? So they called Hussein Daba. He was in America. They called his hotel and spoke to him. Right? They were like, and the reason they even decided to go with Hussein Daba because he was already a human rights lawyer. Right? So they spoke to him and asked him to lead. He could have said, I want to be a lawyer comes with money, right? He can say, oh, I want to go to even international and be more. Oh, I want to just focus on my money. Politics is drama. Politics is buamanya. Look at how, you know how many government threatened to court me. You can threaten you know, so he could have said or be like, I don't want to be part of that, I want to take my money. But he decided to go after the biggest bully we ever have in government history, which is Yajimbe. So Essa Faal, the point I was making is PDRS, they're the only one that have a right to say that we cannot back UDP. We have a right to be president too, because we've been fighting since MPP time. Okay? They're the only one that have the right. So now, when it comes to Essa Faal, when it was tough for Gambian, when it comes to facing a bully, he could have also come out and said that I'm going to fight the bully, but he didn't do that. He focused on his work, and that's his right. I'm not shaming him for that. I'm not going to shame him for that. I was trying to make a point. That's his right. And I don't think, no, we shouldn't shame him for that. It's not a shame. I'm just trying to make a point. Right? Mama Kande, he decided to work for APIC. And then left and started his own party. Good for him, right? So the point I'm making is, Essa Faal cannot come right now and say by force, the way the state of the country is right now. If the country is good right now, if Adam Barrow is not doing the nonsense he's doing, right? Then I can see that would make sense for Issa. We can be like, okay, it makes sense for him to be leadership. Like he's young, he's educated, he's just like another Darboe, but a younger version, right? So it makes sense for him to do it. But right now, UDP, Darboe also have a right to be like, hell no, I have to take charge of that country right now because it's a mess. It's been a mess for how many years now? It's a mess. And I cannot sit another time and look for another president coming and fuck up. I need to go and take handle and fix stuff. Darboe have that right more than Essa Faal have that right, because Darboe stood and fought when it was tough. Halifa Sallah stood and fought when it was tough. Issa didn't. He focused on his work. I like Essa Faal. I'm a big fan of him. I would love to see him be president one time. But if he's smart, and I told him this, if he's smart, he will accept a VIP, a vice president deal with UDP. Then the next election, there's a high chance as a Keno president. Then, but Yankuba Darboe down the please Yankuba Darboe back to the Essa Faal back, right? Issa Yara 8 Tonka, then we can put Yankuba after that. Then we can beg that. But right now, Issa cannot come and just say, oh, we're gonna go like, let's do coalition fairly. But UDP can be like, okay, we have 30% high numbers. They have let's say 8% or even they're claiming 5%, but let's say 8%. Essa Faal have 5%, let's say. But why would then they can be like, you guys don't like me though? Because so many people, what they say is, oh, UDP people, they just want us to come and help them and to win, and that's it. They just want to use us. UDP can also be like, you guys don't like me, so I'm gonna come and you guys are gonna gang up on me and you're not gonna choose me. So why should I come and people that don't like me I fought the most in the country. I took the most hit when it comes to suffering, and I come and just give it to you guys. Why would I do that? Especially with butter and stuff. They're not gonna do that. So everybody needs to be realistic. Essa Faal just needs to be patient, because men kata dawaning Halifa Sallah as a no la afalanal by force as a no afalanal. The same way they sat here how many years they couldn't be president as a no afalanal. I see them for 20-30 years. Molfalena afalan kilo all pa. So people just need to be realistic and win. Ndalgamino something hard attack like a molma when it comes to Adam Baronak. Mbasran ne ko nyama tol. So they need to start being selfish and back UDP. The same way Capricorn UDP people are being selfish, they want to lead. They also are being selfish by not being fair to UDP. And that's the honest truth. PDOS are the only one that have a right to say, no, we've been fighting before you guys. We want to go fairly with Halifa Sallah. I'm not talking about the new leadership. They're the only one that have that right. But Sobaya don't have that right. Remember last election, I thought UDP was going to win, but I wrote on my Facebook, yes, Essa Faal for president, because I'm a fan. I like him. But he has to be realistic. And he has to love us enough to just accept a vice presidency role. And the next year, we will fight for you to be. If Essa Faal accept to take a vice president, UDP Kenya, the next election, I'm fighting for him to be president.
No, well, I'm definitely better for thing. Yeah, better for thing, definitely. Makani is 100% perfect. Because you have him for thing, a better thing. Because Gambia politics that time ni. Han kansula position na ngaba duma ni ko moyen ko law agency ya jamme. He do ko nati. Mobukaso wo time fan kalo even as a councilor wo time. So nim pabi ni a sacrifice ta bakere no. So interesante to jay niko dumala niko Darboe no ma dumala buri ma fata ata yasi ndo to yasi selt. Nga pabi ni lo 100% mo kende ba duka mo kende ba da sawarta bak adunga mo hajo lom bak. So Gambian nanta men gibela ko ya ke kala nin kila kama halata 5 years to me yol diala wrong. So nimpabe mu human right loyal. So I banko nyim bulo nda simflola. So imagine ko next so dinno modo sina position ni ntamel ko Gambia si level Gambia political ground si level. So Gambian nanta no honest.
No me iba kunda kana sign. Bari you kundu da sign man tari mo kan. Bari man fo mun ala ninkila. Yene ka ala ninkila la ko le mol ma ko nak dega. Because like sorry, Michael, yeah. But anyways, like what he said, Gameno, more big. Yan ala ninkila la ko. Nanin tribe nonsense diamo black. Na nyoma koy. Tunya ntana na nyo kanola nak. Sa nimba kampan nang kanyo fight why tribe this, yes, waka kala. But momo ante I like people I did 13 years of my life in Gambia. That's the most important time of my life. So I know what, like, I know we love each other. Okay? And then before I leave this life, there's one thing I want to make very clear for them. Momo alnyaje. Momo yana ka diale ka fuko nu usen Darboe ke the president au luntong al bailal because ni ofo ika mending ka diamoleng that's the honest truth. Momo fala man yana ka fo natri I don't like APSC. I don't want to use them as an example.
I will come to you. I'm in low battery. I will come to you later.
Yeah, you do.
I understand what you are saying.
Yeah, no one should also say like it's very dangerous to promote this idea that if a particular tribe, whether it's Mandinka, Jola, Wolof, Seril, Sarahule, Manjago, it's very dangerous for anybody to be promoting this idea that if one tribe comes, they're gonna kick people out of the country. These are stuff that starts civil wars. So these are dangerous claims. And as a Mandinka woman, I'm scared when somebody make this because you're putting my life in danger. You're putting my life in danger if you go out and promote this idea that if a Mandinka leads, Mandinkas have high numbers in Gambia. So it's normal to see them in parties and see high numbers in there. But it doesn't even matter. It's dangerous to the Mandinka community to promote this idea that if they become leadership, they're gonna kick people out. That's not true. Mandinkas are Gambians, and Gambians, we love humans. We're very kind and friendly people. If anything, what do they say? Gambian in your muntaranga. They're not saying Mandinka in your muntaranga, Wolof in your muntaranga, Jola in your Gambian in your yopla. So, if we hear somebody making these statements, we need to start recording them, know what their identity is, and we expose them to Gambian people. It's this person's fault. We have to do that. I would love to they need to even have some laws because this tribal talks we need to have like tribal laws in the country for people to stop being unnecessary bullshit when it comes to tribe diamo. Konte fon kajan say mo ka ko ha ndeka jola la ning am like ko jola ning nyadi ndeka APC ma like nka kele bua patila yes because mu bua ya jam bua te aka jala manya kele the evidence were there, they said it and bua amu bua la fonti. So if I attack APC, what does that make sense for somebody to go and open their big ass mouth? He can do tinya do me okay mu Senegalese loke. So ni ma mandinko like teta mandinko ba Senegal ntala hayto mandinko ka I don't give a fuck about them. Go to those mandinka ni ya juku jaka altema je ali nyo faje we don't care. But ita bono no Senegal yana mon la sate kono ko ba intel tribal mandinko ni jola jasi na sate kono. Does that make sense? For mandinko ni jola man tar soto Casamance bang. Ibi jele what jasi ali ya duku daka je I'll be chilling in my I don't give a fuck. I'm not stuck on your jasi because I didn't think on your futura binkanyo kanole. If I see a Jola nigga, if he's fly, then the motherfucker, I'm marrying him. If I see a Manjako nigga, if he's fly, then the motherfucker, I'm marrying him. If I see a serial, a jump like a nice neck, I will marry him. A Wolof nigga, I will marry him. I always thought my husband was gonna be. Anyways, I thought my husband was gonna be Wolof, but anyway, you know, Fulani nigga, I marry him if he's hot. And we all do this. So political time rolling. O gamen dol falam bije lo ko kan nya gamen non men katu kaninke ha ike talk they try their best to not speak other people's language. That is ignorance. Near language do mo it's a value. Near man ka kom mo asena that is good for you. Near sura kom mo asena that is good for you. Near the best Gambians are gonna be the Gambians that know how to speak at least 3-4 language. Shout out to them. Except Aram bro boal to naf kabuda fatering. Anyways, but yeah, I just hope that this coalition happen because it's not fair to Gambian people for GDC, Sobeya, and PDS to be their own coalition, UDP to stand here, NPP need a boal ba standing jang. It's not fair to Gambian people. Now we just have it like our heart is raising every day. We're like heart is just pumping like crazy. That's not fair to Gambian people.
Bintan so 1 minute. Nyama ikol ini esa diam ta bari ni desol ko nga information wala moy grupo to ko esa ko atemo atitaka mo ma ko pour yewin.
Ako ayola falam fonte fale bari na kabina diam tankal ko ni ye offer vice presidency la ama he didn't say no ama for total. Okay, dung sobe ko nina vice president pu gale ikatale. The only thing Essa Faal men like alka offer men wala fonko da to no. The only thing he don't like is that position I come in for Ministry of Justice. He don't like that. He don't like that. So there people. So there fans for more like at the Essa Faal for more like. But cabinet vice president fire. It can't like deny. So nkai ko ito po yan ko ni UDP as vice president. You know that this is gonna give you a higher chance of being president next election. Yes, I know that.
Yeah,
so UDP ma ni usen Darboe for ma Cindy aya come nene pula kam ka fa ko support back because ni Essa Faal ya back. I believe GDC binala ya back. PDS guarantee by back. So all Darboe needs to do is a Essa Faal nene fa ya soto aya upper VP position ola pula na let him lead in terms of card back.
Oh, but kela problem back at all because mama kande nomba men soto ni ko be VP position or ila Essa le mama kande
no. Listen, mama kande relax because Essa Faal is valuable nak. Essa la gana valuable tare in terms of
yeah, but it Gambia la politiko bu ko jube because hani to da coalition of formula. Ni to da mal ko be coalition of formula. Leadership problem mo mine temale. Because
no. GDC, like I said, Darboe, Nyantaka,
UDP the coalition diamo la UDP be ñu je kan dumala ini ye diam just kumo be buka na sant bari UDP be ñu je kan ne pour ni ye diam bari amira fana de vice president wala banta Gambia mi yalon ko Badara Diouf malon aliala falon na fata nyame nyaama mo man fello nge bar ko munu wol fota jele VP position Gambia la politiko be jame eta di la mo dem some health mo la Same yela president ofa mavo Essa be okela bari Gambia me position to hada ba dingol nim position o kete ne ko mamban ko je laftan ko le ke lidati so be mo kela position to ibe careful la baake
my thing is okay, I'm all for let's come the new name in terms of coalition work.
Yeah.
But one thing that I'm compromise nola is sate mam betia I'm not interested in we position people man who we know that they're not even qualified for the sake of mustering kafa.
Exactly.
I'm not interested in that. So the vice presidency position, the only other person that it makes sense to have it is Halifa Sallah. But since Peter assigned the leadership man ka Halifa, the one ante mantra to mention ka, right?
Hey, but ya menke je o manke party leader today. O mu secretary general party la munefe mu secretary. But manke party leader. What is different from party leader? UDP
they're about to select, but I think they're gonna probably select him. If they select Halifa Sallah, then good for them. Then Halifa makes sense in terms of hard work. It makes sense for him to VP. But right now, Essa is who we need to capture. So I think that it's fine. Just Essa will be a valuable VP. Make him vice president. Essa Faal Darboe for Qatari all the time. All the time. It works in our favor because these are the two most knowledgeable people when it comes to international. When it comes to like even America, right? The most developments happen when we had like the first. There's a lot of lawyers that are president in America, right? The people that took it to another level were lawyers, right? Yeah.
But ini ani yo keno Alifa sikeno fenkote Alifa stano fenkote governor National Assembly.
But except vice presidency. I like the Essa Faal. I don't have time for let's be safe. Nadi mola me katam fala. Nobody got time for that, okay?
UDP de tol bela diamo la le. Il bela diamo ni men be coalition gara. But Gambia quand même fo santo ani men ka fo dume buka kili ya gameno kawa ku yatale. ñunu menni be ka fintini ñim patili dañol ka diyamo fo bar ni tol nate be men fola santo ani ngameno ka men fo dumalo o ko le yatala andum be alne coalition ko fom ñame ñam ite fo tata le yaji be 5 country natna men yalo ko coalition o fom taje way gamenol manye understand menni be Europe jam fa wala ka si ka kumo fo mi yalo ka te kenora menni be Europe ja wala ka si la banko kan coalition o fom taje ka fo mule ko ha da UDP ñen step down da ba ñen step down ite be Europe ja net yalla naka ñame ñam patiyel be nyim banko kan men yalan ko na mananke president oti dot sanji gelu be ikabula coalition no noma wolle kale ito letare noma o patiyel na manan to lay banko kan pati fulal ka ñofale moderator ani social wolle ka ñofale ni dol ka tara jël don coalition no ni man 4% de France to ibuka palme do election no ibuka fengelo ibuka tala because ibe 4% la so da population ko le na ta parliament election no so bar Gambia antol ka kule ke mi yalan ko mol bu kamke wala na always ka kol so to mi yalan ko ngani yom mente ala ka wol dinna wala na barobe kunto tam because ngani yom am beti ya memu to nyaati nga jele already mam pare nga accept nga continue bar ñombe hasidi yala ka fo dabo ketete na UDP ketete na saytete presidency manke ko bodam malaka banko samba ministry place ol be faari ngele do bi je ministry place ol ya ni do ko ke je do ko ken do ke la banko next election is ila do ko fon si wini ni non a depende la position ngin samba nyamenya bar ni position ken do soto Gambia e ministry position no soto ye do ko ke fo me gamenol kontan gamenol be sulari do kula la ni do ko ke dro ici elect no le next election
Hello Janita for the
I just want to say something. I am at work right now. Essa Faal is not that important in the Gambia, you know. Yeah, I am being honest with you. Essa Faal is not that important. People are wasting their time, but Essa Faal is not that important. Essa Faal, the way he talk, Essa Faal is the definition of arrogant. You understand?
But do you know that the other party, the other coalition, when it comes to GDC, when it comes to PDIS, when it comes to maybe even now, but PDIS and GDC, they are willing for him to lead that coalition.
Even if he lead them, he is not going to win. Essa Faal is not.
I know that, but
they're not going to win.
why?
You understand? In my opinion, this thing, UDP, they need to take this one, Yankuba or someone else to lead them. Listen, if I have to vote for someone in the Gambia, to be honest with you, I will not vote for Lawyer Darboe because we need young people, you understand? Like young people who can lead the country. So we need that leadership.
So
need that leadership. You know that when lawyer, just give me one chance. You know, I would just say something and go down. You understand? So when
before you go down, listen to me for 1 minute.
No, I will listen to you down. You know, when I am not busy, I will just stay down and listen to you. You understand? So, you know, when Lawyer Darboe was in the coalition with the government of Adama Barrow, he wasn't saying anything about the deportation, and he knew that a lot of things were going on in the Gambia, and he kept quiet. After they sacked him, he lost his position. He started talking. So we don't need people like Lawyer Darboe to lead our country right now. We have to be honest with each other. UDP can lead the country. Yes, they have very knowledgeable people, and they have people who are capable of leading the country. You understand? But Lawyer Darboe need to step aside and let the young people who you know that they have bright mind to lead the country. You understand? So in my opinion, Lawyer Darboe should give chance to the younger generation. You understand? But Essa Faal is not the solution because Essa Faal was selling his image in the TRRC. You understand? He mixed things together. TRRC brought nothing but hatred between the Gambians. You understand? No. The TRRC brought nothing to the Gambia except hatred.
Who was mad? It was FPRC that was mad.
But that time, Essa Faal was selling his own image. Even the way he was talking to that imam, like the way he was talking to the imam. So in my opinion, Essa Faal is not the solution, and Essa Faal will never lead the country. You understand? He will never lead the country. This is 100% fact. So thank you very much. Maybe next time if you go live, when I am not busy, I will join you.
Listen to me though. Be down and listen.
Yeah, I will stay down.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I will stay down.
Okay. When I like to be, like I said, I like to be realistic. I don't have time to be sitting here and thinking about things that are not going to happen. When I got mad at, before I even knew Yankuba Darboe, and when ni Taliban sura diamta abukante motivate. Ni rohi malik lo diamta umbuka jibi when it comes to motivation, abukante motivate. So I was like, the only qualified person at UDP was, to me, I'm like, if it's not Darboe, I don't want anyone. When I got to know UDP, Yankuba Darboe later on, I liked Yankuba Darboe, right? So when Darboe said something about Batembudu, I got mad. I advocated for Yankuba Darboe to be the flag bearer for UDP. So the flag bearership debate happened, and UDP chose Ousainou Darboe. So now, that's not gonna change. Because you guys keep opening your mouth and saying UDP should give us Yankuba Darboe. That's not gonna happen this year. The flag bearership has already been decided on UDP's end, which is Ousainou Darboe. That's why I said I like to be realistic. I don't agree with your comments in terms of when he was in office, the backward situation, he didn't talk. What do you want him to say? Like, what do you, like the deportation? Because you gotta, if I'm the president of my country, I'm not gonna motivate my people to leave the continent. I'm gonna motivate my people to be in the country. But still, I don't even know what you're trying to, what do you want from him in terms of that? The deportation in Germany, he had nothing to do with that. That signature happened when German president, when he stepped foot in Gambia, he came to Gambia, the German leadership in Germany, he came to Gambia. When he came to Gambia, that's when that deal was made. He's not gonna come and deal with it. So anyway, so that's when that deal was made. And who has to approve that? It's Adam Barrow. And what else? What else did he say? Something about German thing. He wasn't talking, but when he came out and talked, what else did he say? The 3-year situation. He said, he explained that. He said, I am the most senior lawyer in this country. I don't think that we should come in government and the first thing we do is break the constitutional law. And like I told you guys, that 3-year decision was Halifa Salah's idea, and it was for him. It wasn't for Darboe. It was because of his age situation. That's why he came up with the 3-year idea, because he wanted to lead. I think he thought he was going to lead, possibly. Right? What else did he say? Essa Faal. He's just a hater. Anyway, let me finish my point about Essa Faal, right? So he said Essa Faal is not valuable. Essa Faal is valuable. I believe Gambian people underestimate Essa Faal. Issa does have a fan base. I'm one of them. Okay, and Gambia, our numbers that are out there right now, they're not legit. So the Sobea number that people are putting out there, I don't believe those numbers. I don't think it's accurate. I think they have more numbers than that. The UDP numbers that's out there, I don't believe those numbers. I know it's fraud. I know that UDP have more numbers than that. And the reason I advocate for UDP, the first person they need to capture is Essa Faal. You know why? Because Mama Kande is being selfish. But I believe in the coalition, he will be okay with Issa leading or other people. And PDIS, there are the people, the coalition talk that's happening right now, the outside of UDP, those people are okay with Issa leading them. So if you get Issa to come to you and accept you leading him, then these people are going to follow. I know PDI is going to follow by guarantee. GDC, that's going to motivate GDC back panel because Mama Kande dega kain tamala I mung qualification in terms of presidency. Mala I mung like he seemed like a cool person, honestly. Like I appreciated him when he went. The only thing I like about him 100% is Honeybee Amanson. He won't let Darboe capture him. I mean, but MPP, he won't let Barrow capture him. So that I appreciate, and it tells me about his character, which I like, right? But when it comes to leadership, when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to like taking us to another level, Darboe and Essa Faal will be able to do that better than him. So if he sees that Essa Faal accepts to let Darboe lead him, Mama Kande will fall in line. Also, I believe he will fall in line. So that's why I always say that the person that UDP needs to capture is Essa Faal and really talk to him under law, behind the scene, and get him to accept that we're going to give you the vice presidency thing. Essa Faal doesn't believe. Imagine one of the UDP members, she's like, well, it's okay, not 10 years far, then the president happened, right? Darboe cannot come to become president. I still a Cortella or I still a Moyafa. He can't do that. He have to come. Essa Faal, when it comes to education, when it comes to value, If I'm president, I want the best person next to me, giving me advice, coming up with plans together. So, and that person is Essa Faal. So he needs to come and accept his fate and give Essa Faal the vice presidency position. Okay? Halifa Sallah, lu neex Halifa Sallah mu am nak, because Halifa deserves it. Whatever Halifa Sallah wants, Halifa Sallah get outside of VP, because we need Essa Faal for that one to make a deal right now. You know? Then Halifa gets that. The problem is not the leaders. The problem is later on is going to be followers a little bit. But anyways, the leaders are a little bit problematic, yes, because they're being selfish right now. So that's my point. And what else did he say? He said, "Ako TRC brought division." Hey, Gambian people, that is the worst thing you even said. TRC brought division. That's the worst thing you even said. How did TRC bring division? Gambia utmo until malong ni buama ya magi kana sada kono malong until TRC di. Nana ya jina ko tetale, nana ka mo disappearande, nana amal baliatale. Bari buama nyamen kada Gambia, we didn't know until when TRC came. And what happened between him and Imam Fati? Imam Fati actually Ahmadiyya no la kampara kai, don't call me Ahmadiyya. He have the right to do that. And people don't know what their problem is. Don't call me Ahmadiyya. I have the right to do that. He did it. Imam Fati for something me, Imam Fati for something me. I don't like Imam Fati, especially I don't like Imam Fati right now. Kabi ya jame mo sate ko I ya jame advice for ba ya bo ma ba e ko ba kaus man for bunjan nem for man for ba kaus ko wol tata bari ginne lem for minto lem for because I tonya fa ya jame, right? How come Imam Fati didn't do that? Anyways, so now TRC, how did it bring division? The only people that were mad at TRC is APRC. Who cares about their feeling? Do I give a shit about APRC? Who cares about APRC's feeling? Who cares about their feeling? When they were doing injustice in that country. They were doing injustice in that country. Who cares about their feelings? If Tonya is hard for them to hear, that's their business. They're even lucky their party didn't get banned. That party should have been banned. And I blame and that I'll go Sumia men for left Darboe or Sumia so the Malam Valley or London. I don't like that Sumia stuff. Was Sumia come moment nice tele Darboe or Soto. My uncle, because Darboe had influence when it comes to with Darboe during that time. He could have convinced Darboe to ban APRC. But APRC don't know, because that's what Yajame did when he came. Patil be a ban. So I don't think Darboe wanted to do the same thing. That's fine. APRC would die. Let's leave them alone. They would die on their own. So that softness that you guys talk about, I don't like that. Darboe should have banned their party. If their party was banned, MPP wouldn't be as strong as they are right now. The manipulation and the evilness that's happening when it comes to election fraud, APRC, they're the one that teaching with CDNI and all of them. They're the one teaching Darboe how that works. So their party should have been banned. But Darboe likes to play fair. He likes to do things the right way, you know. That's what you guys say you want. That's what he does. I call a confaldi. Because Darboe ball dila mula nu because I na kono for ba fan I tell be I for fake la ya be mal batal no so Darboe na ka fan nice ni mula mo be yes mo humble no mo sumiyare no na dil we make so dol fa ba what's his name, what's the young Talib Ben Suda falang talk for a while. It's the same thing. Oh, mo humble I'm nice tali I will complain, I will beef, I will complain. We like him, but he's a fucking snake. And Darboe have that softness that you guys are talking about, but Darboe is not a snake when it comes to the Gambian people. Darboe do things based on law. So sometimes I get mad. Sometimes I get mad. Like when he say, we should wait until the law decide. I'm like, no, I said Darboe, I don't like this niceness. I like Yankuba Darboe and Essa Faal type of ruling. You know? So I advocated for Yankuba Darboe to lead it. But flag bearership not a UDP decision, okay? And they decided to go with Ocean Darboe. So now I don't have a choice but to fall in line and be realistic. But God, don't want to be realistic. How do you tell me like I'm going to have Yankuba Darboe should lead? That's not going to happen. So why are you even saying it when it's not going to happen? You know? It doesn't make sense. Anyways. We need people that are valuable, that can take the country in the next place. So our best people should be together. Darboe should be there. Essa Faal should be there. Halifa Sallah should be there. Mama Kandeh should be there. These 4 people, I believe, love the country, so they should be like, and we are so behind that they should be working together. Not Essa Faal not a Timo, not Darboe not a Timo Damba. Not what's his name, Halifa Sallah Timo. No. We need the best all together. And we deserve it. So we should get it. Okay? So but pulo mi Essa Faal hate to drop. At the bad dialogue drop Essa Faal hate on Essa Faal for no reason. Takatuwal kala mala mana problem. Ya do gela wol fa mu lawyer Darboe hate lati. They don't want to open their ears. Even if a coalition with Hussein Darboe would now work, that they win election. I can't win. Right now, all we need is Darboe to exit the fuck out. And need UDP not with Essa Faal will number. I don't know if you guys realize that. Because now it's all about delivery, and the most important thing, they get along. That getting along part is the hard part. The leadership get along, and the boy, the fan base, that's gonna be the hard part. Afterwards. So right now, we just need them to come to let's get Darboe out. Then the hard part is gonna come, which is them getting together and actually doing the right work. Because the pressure is even gonna be us on, like, I'm gonna feel like, because after December, I don't want to talk about government politics. I used to say that to you guys all the time. I used to tell you guys, I don't want to talk about government politics. After this, I just want Darboe out. And why did I start talking? I started talking when I was on Clubhouse, and my own friends, Black American, my own friends, they did a room saying Black Americans don't go to Gambia. They're unaliving Black Americans because 5 Black Americans died in Gambia in 9 months. I had to explain to them, listen, my country right now is such a mess that every week bodies are coming out of my country. We're not used to this. We're not used to every week we're not used to it in my country. So that's when I came on TikTok and I made a video and I talked about like go on YouTube. I made that video and it went viral. Right? So and every day now I'm talking to you guys about coalition. So if these people come, I feel like it's my job, because I'm begging you guys for them to be a coalition, to come and take Darboe out. I feel like I cannot abandon you guys after when they come, because I have to actually observe what they're doing. If they're doing wrong, I cannot be a hypocrite and not speak. I have to tell the truth. I will not be that government hypocrite. UDP and I'm going to UDP and quality, but nonsense so I'm making excuses for them. I will not be that Gambian. I will not be that Gambian. That's what happened with Malafla, but that's what happened with Babaja. I know Babaja when he came to Seattle, when he stepped foot in Seattle, when he was very new. I even went to when I was staying down when he was very new, when he just came. What made Babaja famous the first time was Ayajamele criticized. Ayajamele criticized. That's what made him famous. Right? Then Jammeh came in, UDP, then MPP, whatever. Right? And then the mistake Babaja did was he should have stayed being like an activist and playing the role of whoever is not doing it right, I'm going to call you out. But he came and he became an MPP supporter to the diehard, to the point that you don't want to, like, you want to still promote it. You want to make excuses for them. You want to, like, That's the only thing. That's why, like, that's the only thing I don't respect at all with him. It's like I don't like that because you started good. You were brave. You were brave to attack Yajime, which a lot of people didn't do, right? Then you became such a MPP lover that the things that they do, you don't want to call it out. That's being a hypocrite. But anyways, I don't want to talk about Aja like that. He's a good person though. I know he's a good person. He's actually very kind. Babaja did stuff for me that he didn't need to have to do. He went to Gambia, went to my family, picked stuff up for me, took pictures with my, like, he's a nice person. I know that. But anyways, Mbal Blast, I just wanted to come and talk to you guys a little bit. I love saying that way. Essa Faal laha duma. I laha sinya killing, sinya fula, sinya. I don't care how many times I can laha duma. I offer vice presidency position on. I don't care about any more far or maybe some far. No, I don't care about none of that shit. Okay? Oh, name VP this and I know something. I might be one of the top people. You know what? UDP for another presidency. You know what I want in law? That should be a crime. That should be a crime. That should be a crime. That should be like attempted murder. That shit is equivalent to that. Kamurota or Yakidota la mo nyaka ya family sudla is the same thing as Kafai Kombita Jinabisal for me to mbe Cortella or made this. I don't know if it works, but people say it works. Right? That needs to stop. Because when I join government politics is when I hear all this nonsense. Molka brave to the point that the KGB Kafai can be somebody ne doku, be somebody ne fa, be somebody ne keteng. SS by 14 Sunday fele malaga na yebata nak ngabay master pula but I did really good. Yeah, the only person masaga nak. Yeah, only person masaga but astagfirullah. But you guys have a good night. Bye, yeah. Bye.